Finally, I'm back. Happy Monday before Christmas. All right. Boy, oh boy, this episode was interesting and entertaining and annoying at the same time. Okay. This is Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 12, episode, what is this, 8? Head Over Heels. All right. So before I go into breaking down, my thoughts on the scenes and stuff like that, let me just say this. I think that Nene leaks. I think it's time for her to pack up her oranges or her peaches, right? It's peaches. Pack up her peaches and head on out because Bravo is really doing her dirty. We did not see Nene in this episode. I don't know if that had anything to do with her 3-episode suspension or what, but her name was being brought up all throughout the episode as usual. But Nene, I think that you should bow out gracefully. I really do, because they really are treating you like just like trash, I guess. So I know a lot of people don't like Nene. I get all of that, but this is not cute at all. Like, this is totally not cute. All right, so just opening up the episode, Cynthia is going to meet up with Marlo. They're going to be talking because Snakegate is still, happening. They want to find out who recorded Cynthia. To be honest with you, I don't think a recording exists at this point. I am patiently waiting to be proven wrong. And I know one thing, Cynthia, girl, no, you did not justify Kenya's actions by telling Marlo that she was the one that invited Kenya. Like, during the meeting with Marlo and Cynthia's just making excuses for Kenya's behavior and just acting real, tough. She's being snippy with Marlo and all this other. You ain't recording me now, are you? Like, I have no problem getting anybody together. Cynthia, my man is in town. If she said that one more time in that episode, I was going to scream because, my man is in town. Okay, girl, we get it. Your man is in town. You excited. I get all of that. But Cynthia just didn't find anything wrong with Kenya's behavior. And she basically blamed it on Marlo indirectly. She says, well, you're the one that invited her. Really? So you invite someone to a function and that gives them license to act like an idiot? All right, Cynthia, wait until Kenya does it to you. Anyway, so they're still talking. So Cynthia just comes out and asks Marlo if she was the one that recorded her. Marlo said no. Like I said, I don't believe that a recording exists. I wouldn't be surprised at this point if it was Kenya that did it. But then again, Nene said it was a mutual friend and Kenya and Nene are not friends. So it's just like, if Marlo was to do something like, I don't think Marlo would have to do something like that, because I think that she would, if Cynthia said anything about Nene, Marlo would tell Nene and vice versa. So I don't know. Who cares? So Snakegate is still unresolved. We shall see how that plays out. Moving along to Kandi and Todd Take a Dollar Tucker. Okay. So Todd is showing Kandi a space, a unrenovated space for a new restaurant venture that they have, which is like a tacos and tequila, like Mexican type taco restaurant. So Kandi's unimpressed, and she basically just starts running down all of the properties that Mr. Todd Take a Dollar has purchased, but has yet to renovate and open for business, because it's like you're buying all of these properties, but they're just at a standstill. So you're spending money and you're not getting any return on the investments that you're making. So Kandi just basically says, look, okay, we got to make something happen. You know what I mean? And he does get a little bit defensive, and he says that he has yet to fumble any business and he got this. And he doesn't like the fact that anytime he mentions a new business venture, all of a sudden it becomes like, oh boy, I guess he wants Kandi to have a little bit more faith in him. But Kandi has proven that she has had a lot of trust and faith in you. So he just doesn't like to hear any constructive criticism, it seems. So Kandi, she's just being logical at this point, and she's telling him, like, look, you shouldn't overextend yourself. You should kind of finish and see one thing through before you open up something else. And she also goes on to say very maturely, like, look, one recession could take place and just wipe out all of our finances, you know? And she's absolutely right. Like, I think that Kandi let him know, she just kind of let him know, like, look, don't act like I'm new to this. I'm true to this, because Kandi is old money, okay? She just goes on to say that she has been in this business of making and spending and investing money since she was young. So, you know, like, she's not new to this. She's true to this. And she told him right. And I thought that the only reason why Todd was so eager and so optimistic as it pertains to opening all these businesses is because it wasn't his money. You know, when it's not your money, you know, you get excited to spend it. And then I just thought about, like, how he is with his own daughter, like, emotionally and financially, just very stingy. But he's just so optimistic about, you know, yeah, we got to spend it. We got to open up this business. Yeah, I'm going to buy a tractor trailer. We're going to do this. So Kandi pretty much checked him, though. You know, she didn't have to emasculate him to do it either. So bravo to you for that, Kandi. So I did like that. You know, she didn't have to emasculate him, but she told him right. You know, she's being very logical. There's nothing wrong with you wanting to get the bag. I totally understand that. But I feel like you have to be responsible, and Kandi definitely understands checks and balances. She has a lot of businesses herself. So Kandi recently did post on Twitter that the money that Todd is spending is money that they've earned together. So he can pretty much spend it however he likes. She said that her money is pretty much safely tucked away. She posted this on Twitter. I'm paraphrasing, putting it in my own words. And she thanked everyone for their concern. So I thought, okay, because she's probably seen the comments and she's reading comments that people are making as it pertains to Todd's money. And I'm pretty sure that Mama Joyce, even though she is not on this season so far, Mama Joyce has a lot to say about Todd opening up all of these businesses. So to me, Kandi could be telling the truth, but it smells like damage control to me. So I'll just leave it at that. But listen, if you're going to be opening up these businesses, Todd, just see one thing through and finish it before you open. Like, you have a new baby. Riley is going to college. She got accepted to NYU. You know, you have Ace is still little. You know, Kayla, she's off to New York, you know, starting her career in fashion. So, you know, just take it easy, you know, go full throttle, but just manage your time and your money wisely. So Kandi did definitely tell him right. All right, so moving along to the opening of the Bailey wine cellar. So Cynthia's wine cellar is finally open. The space is beautiful. So she invites everyone over, you know, for the opening. So the guests are arriving, they're mingling. Marlo, she arrives with gifts and a card from Nene. So Nene is congratulating Cynthia on opening her business. You know, she's just talking about their friendship. Very heartfelt, you know, letter that she wrote to Cynthia. So I did notice that Kenya wasn't at the venue at that moment, right? And Cynthia did get emotional. And I think that Cynthia received the message. She said that she was shocked, surprised. So, you know, Marlo seems like she's trying to forge the two back together again. And it seems like Marlo has good intentions because I'm sure that regardless of how tough Nene acts, she misses Cynthia. I feel like she's hurt about the fact that their friendship fell apart, and so is Cynthia. But, you know, you have eyes watching, you got ears listening, cameras rolling. So sometimes people have to put on a tough facade. But I thought that was a very nice gesture. And like I said, Cynthia received that very well because Kenya wasn't around. So after Kenya arrives to the party, you know, Kandi makes mention about the card. And Cynthia shows her the card, and Kenya says that, oh, I don't see an apology. So Cynthia just feels that Nene's note was coming from a good place and her gesture was coming from a good place. So we go on to see Kandi, Kenya, and Cynthia. They're talking, they're standing around talking, they're mingling and things like that. And Kenya spills the beans about Mike, saying that she has a feeling that he's going to propose. Oh, I have a feeling, I just feel butterflies in my stomach. And immediately you can see Cynthia like, oh, no, no, no. If he was going to do something like that, my family, my mom would be in town, my mom would be here, my family would be here. To which the camera pans to Cynthia's mom, coming into the venue. So Kandi is pissed. You can see that she is trying to not only keep her composure, but she is trying to not say anything, not kind of piggyback off of what Kenya just said. So Kenya's standing there with a stupid grin on her face, and once again, she has to make everything about her. She's acting apologetic. Kandi pulls her aside and says, why would you say that? She texts Kenya, letting Kenya know, hurry up, you got to get here because I think that Mike is going to propose. Because Mike did tell Kandi, hey, don't leave early because I have a surprise at the end. So my whole thing is this. Kenya's acting apologetic and acting like, oh, I didn't know. If someone says to you, I think that Mike is going to propose, what else do you need? Do you need instructions? Do you need someone to say, don't say anything? You know that Cynthia has been thirsting for this proposal, right? So this could very well, her wine cellar is opening, her new business venture is opened up, beautiful venue, beautiful atmosphere, just good times. Even if Kandi shouldn't have to tell you, don't say anything. It's a proposal. 9 times out of 10, when people propose, it's a surprise. But anyway, I'm not even going to break it down too much. I think Kenya knows exactly what she was doing, and she takes pleasure in ruining things. Look at what she did to Marlo. She takes pleasure. She did it to Nene's charity event when she was emulating Phaedra when she had the butt pads on. She's just juvenile, childish and juvenile. And she takes pleasure in ruining things for others. And I don't think that was that was not a mistake. Let me not even say I don't think. It wasn't. It wasn't a mistake. And, Kandi, after she gets Kenya together, you could tell she's totally irritated. And she says to Kandi, okay, don't go too hard on me. No, because Kandi sees through your BS. So Kandi walks outside. She walks off with Todd to cool off because she is really ticked off. So she tells Todd, and Todd makes his face, and Todd was like, why would she do that? Exactly. Because it's ridiculous. Listen, Kenya, in my opinion, Kenya is a friend to no one. And it seems like her jealousy for Cynthia is now exposed, right? So moving along to Mike. Mike, he's so excited. He's totally nervous. His hands are all shaking. And I just love that. I thought that was beautiful. So he makes an announcement. So after he gives his traditional toast, I think Eva went up and said something, congratulated Cynthia. Notice Kenya didn't go up and say anything to her best friend, her good friend. She didn't congratulate her on her accomplishment, her new business venture or anything like that. So his daughters and Noelle, they seem like they get along because they were the ones who helped him pick out a ring. And Noelle said something nice to him. She says, that you make my mom happy, and she's really glad that he's going to be proposing. So everything seems good as far as the family dynamic, the blended family dynamic. So his daughters hand him a bottle. It looks like a champagne bottle, and it has a question mark on it. And he just gave her a beautiful proposal. So of course she's crying. She's acting surprised. I don't think that she was surprised. I think that she was overwhelmed with emotion. She's filled with emotion because it's something obviously that she wants. And it was a beautiful venue, the perfect timing. So I think that she was just overcome with emotion. She might have been a little bit surprised because maybe she wasn't expecting it. But it would have been nice if Kenya didn't say anything. I wonder what her reaction would have been. But anyway, now as far as Cynthia and Mike, I like Mike. I like Mike for Cynthia and Cynthia for Mike. They seem like they just have an understanding. They're both very mature. I love that. She's very comfortable with him. I think that Cynthia likes the idea of and all the pomp and circumstance that goes along with a wedding. But the work that it takes to maintain a marriage, I just I don't think she's interested in it. I think Cynthia gets tired very easily, or she gets bored maybe very easily. Um, I really hope that they stay together. I really do. Because Cynthia seems very wishy-washy sometimes. Like one minute she's with it, the next minute she's with something else. And listen, everybody has the right to change their mind, but this is a marriage, girl. You know, this is not like a boyfriend, girlfriend type of deal, you know. So I don't know. Tell me what y'all think. Like I said, I think that Cynthia likes the idea of a wedding and getting prepared and being a bride and the, you know, like I said, all the glitz and glam that goes on, the process of being married as far as a wedding is concerned. So I don't know. I hope it works out. They seem good together. We thought the same thing about Peter. And now look, I mean, I don't know. So moving along, okay, some of Kenya and Mark. So they're headed to meet up with Cynthia. Why I keep saying Mark? Is it Mike Hill? Cynthia and Mike, Todd and Kandi. Because Kenya is dying to have this triple date. You know, Mark and Mike are never in town at the same time. You know, Kenya just wants to rub rings and be the wife. She's just so caught up on titles. And like Mark says, she's very flashy. We've seen that with Kenya over several seasons. So while they're in the car, you can just tell that Mark doesn't like her. He doesn't like her at all. And she's just trying to hold on to this image so desperately that she's willing to just smile through it all and appear to be passive. You know, it's like if she doesn't engage, it won't get worse. But you can tell that she's fuming and she wants to she wants to go back and forth with Mark. I think when the cameras are not rolling, I don't see Kenya just sitting there smiling. I think that she goes back and forth with him. So when they arrive, they're not sitting across from their mates. So they're kind of shuffled up, which was good, you know, a good idea to kind of break things up. And Kenya says that she picked out a wedding venue for Cynthia. I thought that was weird. And they're all looking at her like, why? She was like, oh, you know, I'm good at planning weddings. And I picked out a venue, you know, and I think that she's doing that because Kenya has that like takeover energy. She wants to take over. Already she's making this about her already. And it could be because her proposal was a hot mess. And she did say something about her wanting a do-over. So she's going to, I guess, try to bully her way to take over Cynthia's wedding. Let me tell you something, Cynthia. Keep Kenya out of and away from your wedding party. Keep her away because she's going to make this a disaster. If Cynthia is going to do this whole wedding thing on TV, keep Kenya away. I have a strong feeling that Mallory is not going to allow Kenya to ruin anything. Mallory is very no nonsense. Mallory is Cynthia's sister. And, you know, she doesn't really care for Kenya too much anyway because she doesn't like the way that Kenya talks to Cynthia. So Kenya's going on to talking about her proposal. And it just seems so odd. The storytelling between her and Mark just seems weird. It seems like, go on, tell him. Kenya's like, yeah, tell him. Like, this is scripted or I don't know. So Kenya basically shows up at Mark's place in New York. He said he had no idea that she was coming. She showed up to Mark's house, and when he jumped up and realized that she was coming, he went and grabbed the ring and he gave it to her and says, guess who's official now? And that was the proposal. So Kenya, you accepted whatever the heck it is that Mark gave you. So that was just weird. It was just totally weird. And moving along, because Kenya is tacky, she brings up the subject of prenuptial agreements, right? So we all know the hell that Kandi and Todd and Kandi's family went through when Kandi wanted Todd to sign one. So Kenya revealed that her and Mark, they don't have one. And Mark says that he goes on to say that he helped build Kenya Moore Hair Care because prior to him coming along, it was a mess. And Kenya didn't deny it. And Mark feels like this. He feels like in reference to his restaurant and his assets, because Kandi did ask him, hey, you know, what about your restaurant, you know, your assets, so on and so forth. He says, look, she can have it, you know, all of his domestic assets anyway. Anything overseas is off limits. And he laughed about that. And the men laughed about that. He says, take it, whatever. She can take it. He'll build everything back up. Listen, that's when you know you tired of somebody. If he worked very hard to establish his reputation in the restaurant business, and for him to say, just take it, I don't care, I'll build it back up, he wants no parts of Kenya. It seems like their contract is coming to an end, and that's why he's just like, ugh, he doesn't want to be bothered. And as far as Kenya's concerned, I feel like she had to have him on camera. That probably was a part of her contract, and he wants nothing to do with the show. He doesn't want to be on camera. So she's pushing, and I think he's resisting, and this is his frustration is coming out. He says that Kenya's flashy. You know, he doesn't really care for that flashy lifestyle. She went and bought a Bentley when she had household bills to take care of. Kenya says her house is paid for. And he was like, okay, you know, he doesn't want to argue with her. He wants nothing to do with her. It's like, whatever you say, whatever you say. Kenya kept repeating that she's self-made. She's a self-made woman. She has this, she has that. And when they were talking about their proposals, I don't remember who it was that asked her. She said that was the second greatest moment of her life. The first was her winning Miss USA or whatever title she won. And then I shook my head. I said, you see, I said this in other videos with Kenya, that baby is not a priority to her. And I know that sounds harsh, but listen, Kenya, Brooklyn is not Kenya's priority to her. Everything is a competition. She asked Mark, who's number one in your life, me or the baby? That's why I said I feel sorry for baby Brooklyn. Moving along, Mark brings up Nene. He said that Kandi and Todd, as well as Nene, showed him respect, and he doesn't have any issue with Nene or Greg. He said they've always been very respectful. He also said that Nene did try to, he said Kenya's whole thing is, how can you like Nene when she called your unborn child a buffalo? He says, didn't you tell me that Nene tried to reach out to you to apologize? Kenya says, nope, she didn't say that. Nene has a YouTube channel. She actually showed the text message where she reached out to Kenya to extend an olive branch. She did not use the words apology or I'm sorry. And then she also proceeded to text her on Mother's Day, to which Kenya did not reply. So Mark is not sticking up for Kenya. And I know a lot of people, even the men says, like, you know, anyone that doesn't like my wife, you know, I don't like. Okay, fine. But you guys have to understand, Mike Hill likes Cynthia. Todd likes Kandi, likes and loves her. Mark does not like Kenya. That's why he's not sticking up for her. Like, it looks bad, but it makes total sense. He's tired of her. He's over her. He doesn't respect her. So Kenya goes on to give the most childish, pointless toast. She mentioned Kandi and Todd. She mentioned Cynthia and Mike. She says nothing to Mark, her husband. So it just seems like her childish plans backfired. You know, she wanted desperately to have this triple date, and she just was argumentative. I'm self-made. I did this. I had that. And I just feel like Mark gave her the same energy. He wasn't backing down. He wasn't going to argue with her. He wasn't going to play these childish games with her. And it's just another episode where Kenya makes a total fool of herself. You know what was the most uncomfortable thing to watch? Cynthia, Mike, Todd, and Kandi sitting there just in the tension. It's like, Kenya, you wanted to bring Mark on the show, on this date, to kind of expose him or make him look bad in comparison to the other husbands. And it totally backfired on you. You made yourself look like a fool. So next week, we are going to see Nene. Hopefully, you know, she will be in every episode going forward. So the ladies are headed to Canada, and we're going to be seeing Nene in the next episode. So she's going to be confronting the ladies. You'll see Nene trying to talk to Cynthia and Kenya getting in the middle of that. Listen, Cynthia, you need to tell your homegirl, your fake homegirl, Kenya, bag back. Just sit down. This has nothing to do with you. But it dawned on me that Kenya is threatened because she is afraid that what if Cynthia and Nene reconcile? Then what? Where does that leave me? I won't be able to control Cynthia anymore. So this episode was entertaining, but it was also weird. Like, just Kenya just made the whole thing toward the end just totally uncomfortable. Kandi is on Kenya's side, and it makes sense. She's just like, you're not sticking up for your wife. But you guys have to understand, he doesn't like her. He doesn't like her, nor does he respect her. And at least he's not being phony. Kenya was hot when he mentioned, didn't Nene reach out? Didn't you tell me that she reached out to you and tried to, apologize? No, I didn't say that. Then Nene shows the text message on her YouTube channel. So Kenya, you just have to keep stuff going. As far as Mark is concerned, man, look, he is at his wit's end. Do I think that he's a jerk? No, I don't. I don't think that he's a jerk. I don't think that he is abusive. I could be totally wrong. I'm just going based off of the episodes. So I think when someone is sick and tired, it shows. And just judging by Kenya's antics toward her castmates, imagine being under the same roof as her, sharing a child and sharing a life, the antics that she pulls. So we'll see where this goes. Kenya is making sure she is working day and night to secure her paycheck. But at what cost? I just don't believe that they're married. I believe that there's no prenup because there's no marriage. So eventually the truth will come out. We shall see. Ladies and gentlemen, if you made it to the end of this review, thank you. Thank you for sticking it out with me. Be sure to hit the like button on your way out. Get down in the comments. Let's discuss this. I know some of you like Kenya. That's great. Some of you dislike Nene. That's your prerogative. We can disagree on anything that I discuss as long as you disagree respectfully. That's what counts. So Royal Family, I am signing off. Make sure you have your notifications on if you are subscribed. If you're not subscribed, check out some more content. Share your feedback. Hit the subscribe button. We'd love to have you here at the Royal Family. So I will meet you down in the comments. Make sure you have on your notifications because I'll be back soon, real soon. Until next time, peace.